Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Wild Raven Tarot. My name is Bobby, and this is my bestie, Joey. How you doing, Joey?
I'm doing awesome. I cannot wait to talk about what we're going to talk about today. I'm so excited.
And that
to be
would
here.
be the Goddess Brigid. We've both been so excited about this. Last night, I went into a cleaning frenzy in my studio here, and I knew that there was power and energy working with me as I was cleaning and preparing for this night. So I think this is a special moment. What we're doing is a segment of our show, Epithets, my show, Epithets. And on that show,
Hi, everybody. Oh
there's
my gosh,
my other
we're fighting.
bestie.
There's enough of me to go around. Trust me. Nobody needs to fight over me.
That's my Selena that she's talking about. Essence of the moon. Selena and Ramon are my other two besties. Man, they are awesome, Joey. The three of you must get sick of hearing me talk about the others. I'm like, Joey this, Joey that. Selena this, Selena that. Ramon.
Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, so what we're doing is I do a show where I look into the faces of divinity. And each god may have different aspects or parts of them that relate in different ways to those different names. So I've always been fascinated with that. I work with Lord Hermes, who has around 20, 30 names, or 30 or 40 names, I mean. I think around 27. I'm not sure. I have to check.
That's a lot to remember.
It gets better. I also work with Hecate. She has around 300 names. So, yeah. And those names give you an idea of the energies you're working with. If I want to do something calming, I might call out to Hecate Analia, her in her sea aspect, to calm me, let me float. If I need protecting, I might call on Hecate Kinegetis, the leader of dogs, to surround me with her watchdogs. And just so everybody knows, I do consider myself a hound of Hecate. That aspect is very important to me. But the point I'm trying to make here is that names are power.
Absolutely.
Okay? And different aspects of different gods they channel that power a little differently, some cases extremely differently. Today we're talking about the Goddess Brigid. And I went into an old 30s gangster right there. You see?
You see?
You see, man?
Talking about Brigid, you see?
So we are talking about the Celtic goddess Brigid, goddess of spring, goddess of the forge, goddess of fire. And my best friend here, Joey, the veiled cottage witch. Don't get jealous, Selena. She follows Brigid. So I couldn't be happier to have her in talking about this. We have covered several goddesses already. I'll be doing some gods coming up. I've got Kali will be joining us with Hector Salazar next week to learn about Ma Kali. So I'm so excited for this segment of my channel. I really am, because if your information comes from Raiders of the Lost Ark about the goddess Kali, that's what this show is. All right, just show you what things are. It give you back factual things from history to support these names that we're talking about. All right, so let's say hi to who's here.
I think there's some new comments.
Yeah, but we're gonna get them. Yeah, because as soon as I move this. Ah. All right, I'm going to have to lean forward. I was trying not to. We've got Heather by Brush, Bone, and Indigo Ash. Hey, Heather, how you doing?
I love that name, Heather, by the way. I love that.
I love it. And yes,
hello, Julie.
besties. This is Selena.
Yes.
Neither of us can see that far.
Selena, you're so awesome and such a good cheerleader for my products. Thank you so much.
Yes, for those who don't know.
I sent her flying ointment.
Did you? Those up there are going out to her, one for Ramon, one for her.
Oh,
those little piles up there.
Third eye oil.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. They knew what was coming. And then we've got Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Yeah, if you want to check out Joey's products, go to theveiledcottagewitch.com.
Yep.
Yes, she is your bestie too. She's like, don't feel left out, Mama Boo. Okay. I'm just going to go straight down. Maruta.
Oh, yes. Madam Maru, I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you do for Bobby's channel. You're such a great mod.
I know. I talk about you too, Maru.
What would we do without you? I have no idea. You are so loved and appreciated.
Julianne Guthrie is going to be on Behind the Cards.
Nice.
We're going to take a stroll through her
nice.
life. Yeah, and that will be happening, I believe, in July. So, shenanigans.
Shenanigans. I remember shenanigans in Behind the Cards when we were doing the full journey. And yeah. Witchy best friends here.
Oh, look who I just saw.
Miss Tara D's in the house.
I'll get down to her. My hand skipped, so I just did one of those things where I went all the way down. I hope I'm not missing people. Kristen Louise, how you doing, baby girl? She's gonna be coming on my channel.
Awesome.
We've read together a couple times, and I love her energy. She's just so chill and kick back, and one of the most stunning people I've ever seen. Miss Tarot D. So, Miss Tarot D is the one who sent me those sprays.
They're amazing.
Yes.
I really liked the altar spray. It's like spicy, musky, and I must have some. So, yeah. Where can I buy it? And I will trade anything for it.
Yeah. So,
and
watch the chat because she will.
Anything.
You're barking up the wrong tree on that one, girl.
any of my products or services.
Oh, her energy work is phenomenal. Selena had a session. I've had a session. She also sent me some black sand. Joey says she doesn't smell it as strongly as I do.
My nose is weird.
Yeah. It's from the...
I smell things that nobody else can smell, and then I don't smell things. Yeah, I can smell. I don't know if anybody else can do this, but I can smell death, and I can smell cancer.
It's the sweet.
I can smell cancer.
Yeah, I can't smell cancer.
I can smell cancer. It's not a fun ability, let me tell you. It's
your psychic powers, you guys take what is available to use and to get the message across. So sometimes it's sight, smell, taste,
it's
hearing.
Not a fun ability at all.
Yeah, luckily I can only smell danger. And when you see movies and cartoons, I smell danger. Well, that's
Shenanigans is super excited. Me too. I've started picking at my skin because I'm so excited to talk about Brigid, and I'm waiting for to unleash this knowledge.
There she is. I was looking for
it's bubbling up in my solar plexus, which is where Brigid lives. She lives in my solar plexus. That sounds really weird.
I feel like I should bring a gift or something.
Well, I just fed her cheese, so she's happy.
Yeah, that was funny. I'm lactose intolerant, so we just had some cheese and crackers.
I can't keep up. Oh, who loves me? Oh, Selena. Oh, you used the flying ointment. How was that? I want to know how the flying ointment treated you.
Witchy best friend, how you doing, baby?
Thank you for posting my channel and my products.
Yeah,
Mother,
she does.
you're awesome. You're awesome.
Joey, have you
Yes.
met Francine yet?
I don't think so.
Purple Moon Tarot. Meet Veiled of the Cottage Witch, my bestie. This is Francine, and this is Joey.
Nice to meet you. Do you have a channel I can follow you?
Yes. That would be Purple Moon Tarot. And if one of the mods wants to post her link, please do so.
Please. I would love to check her out.
Okay.
Definitely.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't my husband. I'll send you her email address, love. And make sure to send your...
Yay, I'm gonna get this altar spray. Thank you.
You know what this, and if you want to see how this was made, she made a video, the whole process.
Shut the
from
fuck door.
Getting the herbs to preparing and curing the herbs to mixing the herbs. I mean,
okay.
So this, once you see the video, I want us to.
I need to start doing videos on how I make my stuff.
I've told you that.
I know. I'm too busy like watching things while I do it. I watch YouTube videos while I do it.
Set it up in the corner. You can.
You're gonna help
put
me.
it on mute.
You're
so
gonna
you
help
can
me.
listen to whatever you want. And
You're
it
gonna
looks
help
like you're
me.
being very productive.
You're gonna help me.
I'll help you. Goodness sakes. Okay. I'm blind. I can't see. Well, let's use the button. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to Julie. All right. You ready to do
I'm so ready.
This is my media assets. Let's go down here to pictures to prepare. And these.
What do you want me to talk about first?
I want you to tell me how you first connected with the goddess and give me a few minutes of that and we'll take it from there.
Well, I gravitated toward the Celtic pantheon. I just felt like I was drawn to that area. And so I was doing research on Celtic gods and goddesses, and I was pulled toward, finding my purpose. I really wanted to find a god or goddess that made me feel like, okay, this is my purpose in life. So I did a meditation to find my purpose. It was a meditation called Find Your True Purpose, and it was healing. And then in that meditation, she came to me and she introduced herself, and I was immediately felt like, do you know when you meet somebody in real life, when you meet somebody and you just feel like you've known them your entire life?
Yes. When I met you, I was curious. I was confused. Okay. I was confused because I get a beat on people right away. And I understand them. You confused me. Your energy was different than mine, but it was so much the same.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, over time, we just developed a friendship. But when you feel a balance, somebody's power.
Yeah.
We didn't become friends right away. We knew each other right away, but it took, I think, a year before.
Yeah. I mean, we got to know each other, and we just couldn't stay away from each other, kept meeting.
And then we became coven mates. I'm in Joey's coven.
Yep.
Yeah. And Brigid is called a lot.
Yes.
So did you recognize?
She recognized a part of me, and the purpose was to be a healer. That was my calling. And she said, all right. And she took me under her wing and she said, all right, we're going to be a healer together. I'm going to help you. You're going to help me by, spreading the word. And so I became a priestess of Brigid, and I became a healer. So I submerged myself in all things healing herbs, healing crystals, learning how to work with energy and all of that. And I just I couldn't consume enough. And that's when I found the University of Metaphysics and, got actually certification to be a metaphysical practitioner. So I actually have a master's degree now in metaphysical science. So I'm working on my PhD. So
She
Dirty,
is.
I really am.
She
so much
really
fun.
is. Wait, where'd it go?
So my purpose is to be a healer and not really a healer myself, but to ignite, because she's a goddess of fire, ignite other people to be inspired to heal themselves. Because the healer really just facilitates that in other people.
It's the initiator.
Right.
It's the catalyst that starts the process.
Exactly.
This is what I do with healing work when I do my tarot cards.
Right.
I take it from despair that my client may be in and gradually bring them insight to look at things differently. And then at the end, my final sword is making them laugh. That's
right. However it's done, laughter is the best medicine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, the more I submerge myself in the healing arts, the more I find, the more avenues and tools I find within myself that I can help ignite in others.
Okay.
So, yeah. Exactly, Miss Tarot D, the match to light the fuse. Absolutely.
And I would ask that anyone in the chat, if you are not subscribed to our channels, The Veiled Cottage Witch and Wild Raven Tarot, please do so, because not only do we do discussions like this, but Joey and I get together for our favorite segment, 420 Tarot.
It's so fun.
We put ourselves in a liminal space and just have fun. All right. Oh, what is that? Chat jumped. Oh, because I took the vest off. I was like, what? That's right. Put it in my jean string. All right, let's get back to the goddess. What are her different names or faces?
Well, wow. She goes by many names depending on the territory and the era. So in Ireland, she can go by Brig, Brigid, Brigid, Breed, Bride, Bridie. It just depends on the territory.
I met her as Breed a long time ago. Mm-hmm. I think back in the early 90s, Breed was how I learned from Janet and Stuart for ours books.
Mm-hmm. And in Britain, she's known as Brigantia. If you go over to Scotland, she is Fred. F-F-R-A-I-D. I think I'm saying that right. I'm not Scottish, so forgive me.
I have a lot of friends who are Scottish, so I'll ask one of them and get back
to you. Yeah. So there's that. And then as we get into surviving the Crusades like a boss, she became Saint Brigid. You lose the D and you add the T.
That is a good question. Are there any ghoulish manifestations?
Gaulish?
Ghoulish, like any unsavory
I think it's
aspects?
Gaulish.
Is it Gaulish? Oh gosh, see,
Yeah,
you
it's
need to read, okay?
all of the Irish is Gaulish. It's all this. It's Brigid, Bridie, Breed, Bride. It's all Gaulish. Yeah.
She is a goddess of fire. Why is she a goddess of fire?
She's a goddess of fire because she ignites. She's that creative spark. She's also the god of the forge, or the goddess of the forge. She's also the heat of purification to burn away the illness, to bring about that healing, the purification by fire. Yeah.
I like what you said about igniting the spark. One of Hecate's, well, a couple of Hecate's aspects use that concept that
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have to interrupt you. We cannot forget the hoodoo name, Maman Brigitte.
Maman Brigitte.
We can't forget her. Can we show that picture, by the way? I love that picture.
Let's see. Which one?
Yeah, this story. Okay, so she is married to, this is Maman Brigitte. She lives in the cemetery, and she is married to Baron Semidi. And the first woman to die in the cemetery is sacred to her, and is called the Maman Brigitte. And the first man who dies in the cemetery belongs to Baron Semidi. So
I just love working. I have worked with.
Look at that
Brigitte
big black
before.
cock.
That's one of the reasons I started working with.
Yeah, so she has so many faces and so many aspects. She's got a flavor for everyone. Oh my gosh, you did. I love that, Selena. She dressed up as Maman Brigitte for Halloween. I love that. Goddess of poetry and inspiration that goes with the spark of creativity.
You know
what?
I'm going to have to switch sides with you.
Okay.
So hold on one second.
Stand by. Technical issues.
I can't see shit. Poor Bobby. Poor blind Bobby. Okay.
All right. You just let me know when you want me to bring about my book recommendation.
I can see. Hey everybody, how you doing? All right. Where were we?
We were talking about
who were her parents?
So that is a lot of hearsay, but I know for sure that her father is the Dagda, the all-father of the Celts. Now, there are some rumors that say that at Samhain, where the Dagda and the Morrigan come together, the great marriage produced Brigid. But if we look at the timeline, that doesn't really add up. But we know for sure that her dad was the Dagda. Because, yes, he was the king of the Tuatha De Danann.
Okay. Can you please explain who they were?
Who they were? Who they were.
The Tuatha De Danann.
They are the race of the mother goddess Danu.
Yes.
They were one of the oldest races, oldest clans in Ireland.
Heather's going to be on Behind the
He's
Moon
the good
this
god.
week.
Yes, Heather. She got it. The good god.
The good god. Hey, Ramon, my brother.
Ramon, hi. Nice to see you here. Danu. Danu is also one of the goddesses that I work with. I I love her energy.
All right. Imagine that we know absolutely nothing about Brigid.
Uh-huh.
A lot of us do have in some knowledge in some way, but I'm trying to get a full picture. So what is your favorite aspect? Because mine is the fire creation. I associate it with the energy of Hermes, but he is air and creation, the thought of creation. This is where it takes action.
Okay. I will show you a picture.
Okay.
This one. So my favorite aspect is Brigid of the Forge. She's our alchemist. She takes metal and shapes it into whatever she needs to do. And if you take that metaphorically and metaphysically, it is an aspect that takes the soul, right, and shapes it into what, take trauma, for instance. Pound that trauma and get it down and shape it into something beautiful. So that is my favorite aspect, because it's all about molding and shaping and creating something beautiful out of quote unquote junk. That is my favorite aspect of Brigid of the Forge.
My favorite aspect is basically the same thing, creativity. When we talk about Hermes and creativity, it's raising the power and projecting it in a knowing fashion. It's alchemy with the caduceus. That's how the power is raised and blended. It's unification of the soul towards gnosis.
Right.
So that's how Hermes goes about it. Brigid offers let's do this. I've got this.
So I have a story. I did a meditation to meet Goddess Brigid of the Forge. And when I went in there into the forge, you smell that smell and you feel that heat. And I fully expected to see her pounding out a sword, or a shield, and all of that. And I totally, expected something badass like that. But when I got in there, she was forging a cauldron.
Nice.
And I, when I approached her, she responded to me like, what? What are you staring at? And I said, well, I expected, you to be forging a weapon. And she was like, you don't think a cauldron is a weapon? And I was like, oh,
I gotta say,
my bad.
When you first told me that story, I did the same thing. I was like, yeah, that is the biggest weapon we have.
I was like, all right. I stand corrected. She goes, can you not transform things into weapons when you burn things in your cauldron? I said, yes, ma'am.
All right. A little water, a little jar, a little oils, a little herbs, a bunch of nails and spikes.
Can you not
dirt.
make poison potions in a cauldron? I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, all right, then we understand each other. And I was floored. And I learned a lot that day. So yeah, that put a lot of things in perspective for me as far as what is a weapon and what is not a weapon. Yeah. So I was, I got schooled. Big time got schooled that day. So
I just remembered why I was wearing the vest.
Oh, well, Well, at least, you got a little bit of my,
Yeah.
yep. So
So
that's my favorite story.
what other tales and aspects does Bridget have? Why is she considered a healer? Why is she considered the forge? We did that. What other aspects are
She
there?
is also goddess of the wellspring, and there are tons of beautiful wells, healing wells in Ireland, where you go there and you take maybe a piece that's beautiful, a piece of cloth, and you dip it in the wellspring, and then you take it home and you can heal your sick with the powers of those wells. It is such a beautiful thing. It's called transference magic. People have been healed from these wells for thousands and thousands of years. It's, and you leave an offering. You take the water and you leave an offering, and so we have goddess of the wellspring, and that is and also an aspect of the healing goddess. We also have the goddess of spring. She takes over for the Kaliak. Kaliak is the winter hag. The winter hag goes in to
the Kaliak.
The Kaliak, yes.
No, I miss our friend who's no longer here.
She, when the winter is over, Brigid takes over, and she brings the beautiful green and white snowdrops that come out, the daffodils that break through the snow. She brings the spring. With the spring comes the warmth, and that's where we get like the goddess of the sun. So she comes renewal. Back. Yep.
And there are 8 great days in magic.
Yep.
Which day is hers?
Imbolc. February 1 or 2nd. Now, some people, that's Groundhog Day. Well, actually, it's from that story, the Kaliak, and Brigid comes out, and it's actually about her, not necessarily the groundhog. It's all the woodland creatures come out, and that's kind of where we get Groundhog Day.
Does she have a warrior aspect?
She can. I don't really. I have another goddess that I work with that kind of fills that gap. But I would say that would be her aspect of Brigantia, because Brigantia is kind of the same thing as Athena in Greek. Oh. So I really don't work with Brigantia. But Brigantia is a warrior goddess.
I have a primarily Hellenistic pantheon, so
right.
A good chunk of the deities I work with are Greek. But I have Japanese deities I work with. I have Native American deities. And that's something that has been cropping up a lot around me lately. The concept of, because you're Norwegian, should you focus solely on Norse deities? If you're from Mexico, should you focus solely on Mexican deities and Santa Muerte? That's come up a lot lately in conversations that I look at online.
I think as long as it's trial and error. So
so are you suggesting fuck around and find out?
Yeah, absolutely. I have used pantheons. Julie, I will get to that in 1 second. I have mixed pantheons that have worked, and I have mixed pantheons that haven't worked. And nothing like, no shit's gonna like go crazy if you cast your circle and you do your protections and everything. I have found things that don't work and things that do. And as long as you have protection, you're fine. But I work with one Greek goddess, Iris of the Rainbows. And I work with everybody else is Celtic. But if I want to work with a warrior goddess, I'm calling the Morrigan.
Yeah, it was like Morrigan. It's definitely in. She's gonna call Morrigan.
So, but yes, Brigid is Brigid the Bard. When we're talking about bard, the question was for writing and music as well. Yes, because Brigid is actually a druid.
Funny, she doesn't look Jewish.
Spaceballs. Love it. Points for that.
Points for getting the joke.
So she was also a bard, which in Druidism, which is a wonderful thing, men and women can both be priests and priestesses, and it doesn't fucking matter if you have a penis or a vagina. I love that. But yes, she was a bard. She told stories. She sang. She wrote poetry. And best of all, she inspired other people to do that. The spark of creation, what we were talking about earlier. You know, they didn't write shit down. They couldn't, you know, and my wife and I were talking about this. We only have what Caesar told us. We don't have the real deal. And it's like, I want facts on Druidism. Good luck.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna find it.
well, is considered Druidism today is
we pieced together.
It was pieced together. That's not to say it doesn't work and that it is not a valid form of a valid path. I used to have a friend who was Druid, and that's where I learned all about mistletoe. Yeah. Yes.
Especially if it grows on an oak. That's
what is mistletoe for?
Mistletoe is now if it grows on oak, mistletoe is known to heal anything, especially if you cut it with a golden sickle.
I wish I had one of those laying around. I just realized recently we both had the same Boleen, and I got excited.
Yep.
What about I asked you about her parents. What about her son?
Okay. This is a sad story. Grab your tissues. Okay. She had a son named Ruidon. And Ruidon was her everything, was her heart. And he was murdered. He was murdered out of spite. Murdered. And she was beyond distraught.
She was inconsolable.
Inconsolable. And this is where we have keening. She invented keening, which is kind of a wailing kind of cry. If you've ever seen Practical Magic, in the beginning when she's crying
for the last love.
Yes. She's keening.
She's keening.
Yes. So it's where you're just emotionally releasing everything, and it's physically and they do it in Hereditary. That movie.
Dude, I hadn't seen Hereditary.
Putting it on the list.
I was just gonna say it's going on the list.
Going on the list.
Joey and I do Scary Movie Day.
I just love to watch you jump and squeal like a little girl.
Okay.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
That's how I know it's a good movie, because if it's a movie I haven't seen and it freaks me out, yeah, I'm gonna jump. If it's a movie I've seen over and over, you got to remember I have problems with my memory. And I'm a stoner, so I jump. There was a
Yep.
scene in a movie.
And after you jump, I slide you the bowl like you need
Yeah,
this
I like.
now.
Okay.
Yep.
She brings people together in a spirit of
Yes.
unity.
That's when we talk about Saint Brigid. So I have a story. Allow me. Oh, I love this story. I do. I have a story.
Miss Tarot D, that is true. And believe it or not, I don't know if she'd still do it, but I had a friend, Lori, in Mesa, Arizona. And the joke was, if I passed, show up in veils and those big hats, all black and pearls, and you and your friends sit at the back wailing, so they think something, that I
Maru said you may have been that culture in a previous incarnation. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Saint Brigid, I have a story. Story time. Gather round. Get your blankets and pillows. All right. So Saint Brigid approached the King of Leinster, requesting the land on which to build her monastery. Now, the place she selected in Kildare was ideal. It was near a lake where water was available. You've got those healing wells, right?
Uh-huh.
In a forest where there was firewood and near a fertile plain on which to grow crops. Now, the king refused her request, and Brigid was not put off by this refusal. She's like, I'm going to do it anyway, which I love. Rather, she and her sisters prayed that the king's heart would soften. And she made her request again, but this time she asked, give me as much land as my cloak will cover. You remember this one. Now, seeing her small, threadbare cloak, he laughed and granted this request. However, Brigid has instructed her 4 helpers, earth, air, fire, water, each to take a corner of the cloak and walk in opposite directions, north, south, east, and west. And as they did this, the cloak began to grow and spread across many acres. And she now had sufficient land on which to build her monastery. We can have a picture of the saint if you want.
I'm trying to, but that stupid pop-up showed up.
Okay.
Which one was it? This one?
The king and his, no.
Oh, okay.
The king and his entire household were dismayed and amazed. They realized that this woman was truly blessed by God. The king became a patron of Brigid's monastery, assisting her with money, food, and gifts. Later, he converted to Christianity. It was on this land in Kildare that she built her dual monastery in circa 470. Isn't that lovely?
It is lovely.
It's so magical. So, like, okay, here's
I just
my
love
take.
the anything that has a tale of a non-believer being faced with magic. I love it. I love those stories.
Here's the thing that I love the most about that story is that there was magic involved in Christianity. And here's the best part. I have been told, and I've gotten permission to share this, I call her Brige because it's Brigid and Brigitte, or Brigitte together. Brige, because it's a bridge between paganism.
Oh, I get it. Bridge. Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Brige is the name that I refer to her when I do my invocations. Can we see this picture? This is one of my favorite pictures of her. Yeah.
The cauldron.
Now you can see now you can show them my altar and my dedication to her. So this, there's the golden healer stone, my candle, and my statue.
I'm looking. I've been in front of that so many times. I'm like, what does it look like?
Yep. I have
I want to go.
carved that red candle with Ogham staves that are sacred to her. So the Celtic Ogham. 2 years ago, I went through this book, and this is flame tending for transformation. So for 20 days, I did a dedication and I learned a different Ogham, a different tree. So this is a commitment. So I did a flame tending for 20 days. And it was before I had insulation, and it was during the winter. So I froze my little patootie off.
Shenanigans wants to know who the author
Erin
is.
Aurelia. I'll put it way up there.
Erin Aurelia.
There you go. So if you're serious about wanting to dedicate and become a priestess.
Her name is Brigid.
Oh, nice.
And it's called many different versions.
Nice. Nice. I love that.
That is the author, Shenanigans. Got it.
I might as well just go through my books.
Yeah, let's take the time to do that.
This is What Is Remembered Lives by Phoenix LaFay. Here, I'll put that closer. This is several deities, ancestors, and the Fae, but the Brigid meditation in here is freaking amazing. I love it. Love it. This is one of my favorite Brigid books. Brigid by Courtney Weber. Here, I'll hold it right so you can see. By Courtney Weber. I have this on Audible, Kindle, and paperback.
I do that with my books too. I just did that with Cressida, Dr. Cressida Stone's something. What did they book?
Mm-hmm.
No, I already took it back to the bedroom.
There's rituals in here. There's spells.
Let me hide
everything.
This.
Everything.
I think everybody's done looking at the altar.
Yeah.
The Forge.
Then Tending Brigid's Flame. This was the very first book that I read, and this is by Linnea Witherstone. This was the first book I read. It's wonderful, and you know what? I wrote a poem back here. Oh my God.
Would you like to read your poem? Or is it private?
I will.
Is it going to make you cry?
Probably. Okay, so
like probably.
I have a name. This is a name poem. So I have a magical name, which is Alder Skydancer. I'm sharing with all of you. Alder Skydancer. And I wrote a name poem, and I'm just going to show you here. Each line of the poem starts with the name of each is the.
Oh, I see.
So
ALDER.
Yeah.
So always the next time.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. I'm bearing my soul, you all. So always in my heart and on my mind, love and honor I will give to you. Dedication and devotion to honor, exalted are you as I aim to be. Revere and worship the whole year through, sea and sky, land and flame, keening to release when emotions swell. You protect, you heal, you transform. Day and night I honor you. Awareness of animal and herbal lore, nights are warmed with your eternal glow. Crosses of Brigid to protect our home, empowered by your blessing and love. Respect and care for myself and the land. This I offer in praise to Brigid on this day and evermore.
Let me grab something to show everybody.
This book is amazing and inspired that poem. So there you go.
That is beautiful, Joey.
Thank you.
for sharing that with
You're
us.
welcome. And this book is so fun. This has recipes, tarot spreads, poems, pictures. I got to show you. Oh, please show.
We made this last year.
Yep, there it is.
Breed's Cross.
Mhm.
This you hang on the wall for protection.
Yep.
This is my very own cross.
You did so good too.
Considering they don't understand. I have tremors, you guys. So watching me
It
eat
was
soup is
too
a joy.
easy.
But this was so easy to do, and I advise everybody to make it.
It's so easy. Watch.
Cross
There's
of
so
Brigid.
many YouTube channels. I got to show you guys my favorite picture of Maman Brigitte. Check her out. She's got a blunt in her mouth.
That's my girl.
Look at her. Oh, thank you guys. The title
The
of which
title the
one?
book.
This
Or
one?
your poem and the title of the book, both.
The title of the poem was I don't think it's just my vow. It's just my vow.
Country is a new friend of mine. Funny as.
So Brigid's Light. This is just a collection. This is really nice for like short little dedications. There are rosemary biscuits in here that'll knock your socks off.
I like making muffins.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
Brigid is considered a triple goddess at times.
Yes, she has 3 faces.
Can you explain?
Yes. So the 3-faced goddess is her main guises, which would be the goddess of healing, the goddess of inspiration, and the goddess of the forge. Those are the 3 mains.
The 3 faces work similarly to rebirth and regeneration.
Yeah, but she's not like the
No.
typical triple
No,
goddess.
not like that. This, I told you before we started, temperance. The temperance card in tarot
Yes.
is the card I associate with Brigid. Healing.
Especially with the forge
Yeah.
and alchemy. Mm-hmm.
The blending of things together.
Yes.
I have to do that when I talk about Hermes. It's just a thing. It's a dance move.
Mm-hmm.
Do the Hermes. Do the Hermes.
Oh, I have Brigid from Pagan Portals 2 on my Kindle. Mm-hmm. It's a short one, but it's good. Sorry.
Was that all the books that you brought?
Yes.
Okay. She's a protector of animals.
Yes.
What would be something that you would call? I know that when Diego passed, I know Joey lost a very special member of her family, Diego, who was just a sweetie pie. And little
She
kitty
was our
cat.
ginger kitty.
Yeah, I shouldn't have stepped in that landmine.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
That's okay.
But I know Brigid was with you that day,
Yeah.
taking care of Diego. And,
Yeah.
yeah. So that is an aspect. She is the protector of animals in the same way
Absolutely.
Hermes is, in the same
Absolutely.
way Hecate is.
Mhm.
I can't remember. Putnetheron, I think, is the goddess of the animals.
Thank you guys. She protects all the animals, and especially the animals that produce milk. So we're talking, the sheep and the lambs and cows, especially. So yeah, it's called the lambing. She comes out during the lambing season, and in fact, imbolc means in the belly. So in the belly, the milk is ready to be.
I like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what it meant. That's awesome.
Mhm.
She did it again. Go back and watch every video I've ever done with Joey. She manages to get me every time. And I consider myself, well read. And I'm like,
Well, we all study different things, so we're all going to be more learned about different things.
does she have any other symbolisms to her? We talked about Brigid's cross
So
and
many.
the forge and the cauldron. Yes, and what else?
The oak tree. The oak tree is very symbolic for her. In fact, her church in Kildare, Kildare means Church of the Oak.
Oh, really?
So
twice.
Her oak tree that is there, I mean, it's dying now, but the oak tree is very, very sacred to her, as is the rowan, the heather, the ivy, blackberries are very sacred to her. So blackberry wine would be a wonderful offering for
altar
her.
offering.
Butter.
Joey just bought the most beautiful piece of furniture, altar furniture. Oh my gosh. Is it coming this week? I was with her wife when we came across it, and I was afraid Joey was gonna get mad at me for my part that I played in it.
It's beautiful.
It is gorgeous, you guys. I want one. That's how gorgeous it is.
You named your ginger cat Joey. I love that.
It's a therapy cat. Yeah.
Where was I? What was I talking about? I dropped my thought. Where'd it go? I dropped it.
Well, we were talking about symbolism, oak trees.
Oh, yes. All of the oak tree is very, very, because it's strong and sturdy. And think about the fact that she survived the Crusades.
Yeah, she's one of the goddesses who did not. They tried to soak her up with Saint Brigid, but no.
But she still is a magical being.
Yeah,
she's a saint who has all the powers.
Evolved.
All the powers of the goddess. But they just took the label off and just put saint down, but she still has all the aspects of the goddess. So I think that's pretty badass.
She is somebody I consider a goddess of sex.
Really?
Because she is the Ace of Wands. She is the initiator. And for me, the Ace of Wands is a card of sex.
Well, it does look like a big penis.
It's very phallic. It's very passionate. It's very hot. So if I were trying to use a spell for fertility in some way, I might call
because,
on that.
In the belly.
Or if I were trying to increase male potency,
right?
Let's say that, I would call on that aspect. I mean, the Dagda was her father.
Right.
So there's a healthy dose of that sexual energy involved.
Right.
Tell them real quick about the Dagda.
The Dagda is the good god. He's kind of the all-father, and he had a cauldron that was like bottomless, right? And he also had a harp that played beautiful music. He also had a huge club. I mean, this guy, he was like compared to
he was man.
Right. I would compare him to Zeus.
There's he was the man in charge. There's a tale of him walking down the land, and as he walked, his pee-pee dragged on the ground,
right,
and created the valleys there. His pee-pee.
But yeah, I mean, he's mad. And then you have the story of the Morrigan, who, the sacred marriage,
Mm-hmm.
Having sex with the Dagda and the Morrigan, like, whoa. There's a reason why it's the in front of both of their names.
Yeah. They are.
They're a pretty big deal.
It's like
Third leg, definitely.
On social media, the Robin Williams, right?
Right. Like no small feat.
There's a tale of how they met.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into it though,
right?
Because we're going to be doing a show on the Morrigan, and we will eventually do one on the Dagda, I'm sure.
Right. I don't know as much lore about the Dagda as I do about.
No, but I think these are all interwoven, and you are very knowledgeable about the Tuatha De Danann as a whole. So we're going to approach basically the entire Tuatha a little bit.
I don't know that I 100% agree that Brigid was the result of that sacred marriage, but I'm going to throw this little tidbit out. As in her sainthood, she was rumored to be the midwife of Mary, as in Joseph and Mary.
Really?
Yes. So there's that.
There's that. There are so many.
There's that.
Absorbed stories.
Now, she also was an advocate for women's rights. And
somebody just posted that, I think.
And she was rumored as a saint to perform the very first abortion in Ireland.
Wow.
Chew on that a minute.
Never heard that one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right? And if I can spill some little bit of tea, she had an assistant as in her sainthood, female assistant, and they were very close. And she got jealous one day and may or may not have put a curse on her female friend.
No, that's a case of fuck around and find out.
Yeah, so she might have been a lesbian too.
I think if you're a personification of the divine feminine, you're not limited to anything.
Right.
The divine masculine is masculine. It's not, doesn't say the divine heterosexual.
Right.
And I read something the other day, since it's Pride season right now at this time of filming, the little things that had somebody screaming at them. It was Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, and they yelled back, it's Homo sapien, not heterosapien. We are both friends of Judy, so as it's called. Let's see what's coming up. Spill the tea.
I did.
Yes, I do view her in that aspect. The fires of passion.
Yeah.
In the forge, she's covered with sweat, throwing her energy into something.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
She got a giggle.
Good. I'm so glad.
Let's see. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. Can you think of anything else?
But let's talk about correspondences. If you want to start, I love correspondence. Huh?
What a great concept. Let's do
that. So if you want to start working with Brigid, here's a couple things that you can do offering wise: butter, bread, grain, blackberry wine, anything on a vine, grape juice, any kind of wine. She likes ginger, so like ginger beer, anything like that.
Oh, do you know what I was drinking when I was cleaning this room yesterday?
What?
My ginger tea.
Nice.
How funny. Because
Nice.
I was getting this all set up for tonight's show, and I told you I felt goddess energy. I know I work with enough gods as a speaker that I recognize when something's with me. And I recognize the heat as a heat,
Right.
you know. I thought it was Hermes at first because of the creation and everything I was doing at the moment. No, it wasn't. It was definite Brigid energy. I've felt that energy in Coven before when you call her. So
nice.
It was nice.
Nice.
Nice. Yes, we're going to keep saying nice over
so
and over.
Candle colors, red, blue, purple.
Purple.
Yeah, for transformation.
Red and blue to purple. I get it. Okay.
And then herbs. Think fiery, so like rosemary, chili peppers, think maman Brigid.
Cayenne.
Cayenne, anything fiery, cinnamon, ginger. She likes tea, so if you make a tea with some fiery herbs in there, definitely. Ginger cats. What was I going to say? Oh, crystals. Think red jasper, carnelian, aquamarine, sunstone. So think fire and water.
What she said.
Instead of leaving an offering, can you honor a meal? Absolutely. Listen, there is no wrong way to
finish
honor.
The whole thing.
Okay. Instead of leaving an offering, can you honor a meal for that deity while eating it? I was taught not to waste food. Absolutely.
So not only that, I'm going to take it a step further into tantric magic, sex magic. You can gift the orgasm or the act, the power raised to the gods. I shall eat gluten in Brigid's name.
Woo! Yes. Milk is a lovely offering as well.
Let's see.
Also, just energy.
Yes.
Healing energy is a wonderful offering as well. Fire. She loves fire, loves incense.
Kristen from Nine Worlds Tarot, who I just adore, says Norse people did that as the norm. All offered food was eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't. Well, that was a harsh environment too. You didn't waste anything at that point.
Right. Absolutely. Any other questions about Brigid? Send them my way.
I think everybody's still interested in devotional acts and colors. What should be on an altar for Brigid?
I will tell you what I did get that I love is I got a 3D print of a little tiny anvil for the forge. I recommend something that represents fire. It could be a candle. Just a candle, you're perfect. You're good to go. I think if bare minimum, you should have a candle.
One of the concepts that strikes me with Brigid that's similar to Hecate is the spirit of unity. There's an aspect called Pirosher in Hecate. Hecate Pirosher. It's her, not or per. It's the fire that each person has a spark, and that spark is flamed into a conflagration, and then it's a flame of unity.
Right.
I view Brigid in a similar manner. That spark within each person can be flamed. I like to view of myself as a spark of creation.
Sure,
I try to get
absolutely.
my friends to be more creative. All of my friends, I try to get them to do more. One thing that bothers me probably above all else is wasted potential.
Yeah.
Honor that fire within you.
Absolutely.
Honor that spark of creativity. And if you can pass that flame on to another person, let's get this.
Well, that's the beautiful thing
Raging.
about a flame, is because if you have a candle, somebody else can light their candle.
Yes.
It doesn't diminish yours. And Miss Tarot D was like, whales and dolphins, a bowl of water also on your altar, because think about the wellspring and the healing. Absolutely. And it's like a little representation of the wellspring. What?
I think I'm drawn to Hecate, Brigid, and Bastet, but
Wonderful.
my role as
Yes,
a
no,
servant
absolutely.
of Hermes is I don't delve into any goddess or god completely. My life and service belongs to Hecate and Hermes. But Hermes is like the United Nations. So I do.
Right.
I am the connection point. I bring people together, which brings me to my next thing I wanted to say. Next week's episode is with a gentleman called Hector Salazar from the YouTube channel.
What
Hector
a cool
Salazar.
name.
Right. He seems like such a good, his videos are awesome. He is going to be talking about Ma Kali, Kali, and all of her epithets and all of her faces, her tales. So please join us as we go into the Goddess of Time next week.
That's awesome.
It's going to be a fascinating
It's one of my
topic.
favorite death cards is in the Astro Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I just remember you getting all excited.
Yes.
So if your knowledge of Kali comes from Indiana Jones movies.
Bye, Miss Tarot D.
Bye,
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I'll be in touch.
Yeah, if your info comes from a movie like that, you're limiting yourself to a very small pinprick of anything. If you pop culture can point you in the right direction, give you something to say, hey, I want to learn more about that. But don't take what you see in the movies as fact. Although on Sabrina, the Teenage Witch series, oh my gosh, they did an episode where Hilda called on Hecate and the coven ended up being devoted to Hecate. She called on Hecate to raise her sister from the dead.
Oh boy.
And the spell she screamed out, to this day I watch it over and over. I mean, oh my gosh, such a beautiful scene in pop culture history. Yeah. So the next time you feel like you need the fires of inspiration, the next time you feel that you're trying to create something and it's kind of slipping through your fingers, you need to like forge something.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more forceful action. Fire is considered a masculine aspect, by the way.
Yeah.
So she is that balance of feminine water with that masculine fire.
Yeah.
So finding
the forge is all 4 elements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is earth, ding, ding, air. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a concept or a thought right there that I wanted to share.
I'm so sorry.
No. Welcome to she's
I
used to me.
derailed you. I'm so sorry.
Anytime you need that fire energy in your life, this might be a wonderful goddess to light a candle and think about. And if you wanted to put your temperance card before the candle as something, as a focal, that might be
the Empress card works too.
The Empress card, the mother, yes.
The Sun, the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands works good.
Really? No, I mean, it makes sense. No, but the Queen of Wands, you know the story that the Queen of Wands followed me all last year. Okay. And no matter where I did a reading, the Queen of Wands was there. And I thought it, which is true, it was time to balance myself in a certain way. It was time to accept this part of myself and increase this part of myself. Find that spiritual balance. And I did. but it was because of that Queen of Wands. So finding out that she is associated with it is really cool.
Yep.
Wow. Invincible Summer. How you doing? Welcome. We've been discussing the Cottage, the Goddess Brigid.
Yeah, it comes out when you do that.
It's my
I think I covered everything.
choppers, yeah. So
I mean, there's so
we're gonna
much.
chit chat for a second on basically nothing while we wait to see if anybody has questions. And if not, so call. Well, I think you're saying Hecate. When you make jewelry, Hecate is capable of, she's a chthonic deity. She deals with things of the earth. She mixes, blends. She's known as the Queen of Witches. So yes, you can definitely call on Hecate when making jewelry, when making your magical items, or just making beautiful items. She's got aspects that are solely devoted to beauty and glory.
Oh, I wanted to say something else also. When you work with Brigid in the healing sense and you are making an herbal mixture like a tea, she can help you charge those herbs.
Oh,
because
yeah.
she is also a goddess that works with those, because she's a healing goddess. You can call upon her to bless and charge your herbs before you or while you're making your teas and stuff for healing. So
Love it. You know, the healing aspects of the gods, or the aspects that are designed or not designed, that can be approached for healing, transformation. The transformation aspect.
bye, shenanigans.
Bye, babe. The transformation aspect of gods and goddesses is what I'm drawn to most. And I'm starting to realize that it's the death energy, the end of one thing, the beginning of something else, the spark of creation through destruction.
Yeah.
I'm learning. The more I learn about the gods, the more I'm understanding about how I'm viewing my philosophy. And time has been a big thing with me this last year. So I keep a watch on my altar.
Fabled Witch says, she's working on building her garden. Could she offer her acts of that to her? Absolutely, especially if you are going to be offering some of that. I would also take it a step further and offer some of your garden, some of those herbs to her as well.
What would be some other good herbs to plant? I know we talked about a lot, but what are
anything
easy
you're
herbs
going to
to
be
plant?
using for healing? Any healing herbs. So that would be
something easy that a lot of people can grow without trouble.
Rosemary grows easily almost anywhere. Plus,
it's
rosemary is a substitute for any other herb.
Oh, like a quartz crystal. She's teaching me herb lore.
Yes. By the way, I'm done with the first part.
Okay, and when she says the first part, she means her college presentation that she's prepared for me. And you think I'm making a joke.
PowerPoint.
It's a college presentation. I appreciate them. The one she did with the Algum staves was Selena. So good.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, Hecate, right? I missed the question. But I can tell you this, it's probably a yes where Hecate is involved. She has about 300 different aspects.
Let me just tell you guys, let me just blanket this statement. I've heard so many, can I do this? And can I do that?
Good point.
Here's the thing. Yes. If it feels right, do it. Intention is everything. if you find your own personal way of doing something and it feels right in your heart, go with it. You need nobody's permission to do anything.
As long
feels
as
right.
it doesn't offend the deities you're trying to work with.
If it's like, can I kill this dog as an offering? No.
That will offend the deities. Don't do it.
Right.
I don't believe in any form of sacrifice, like animal.
You don't need anybody's permission.
That's wrong. I do know that spirits like La Santa Muerte like to be kept their altars to themselves.
Right.
You do not want to put her altar up with other altars.
But you're going to know if it's wrong.
Yeah. Brigid is somebody who could share an altar.
Yeah, she's so easygoing.
Yeah. That transformation thing, that is my jam. That unification. And when I talk about Hermes coming up, I'm finally going to have a captive audience, and y'all are going to be forced to listen to me talk about Hermes. All right. Before we go, I have a request. Yeah, there it is. Let's poke hard for everybody.
Okay.
I'm going to pull it, and you're going to interpret these, okay?
All right.
So.
Do you want me to, interpret it as
we're both going to take a second.
What Brigid would do?
Yes. Okay. Message from Brigid.
Message from Brigid. I love that.
So we're both going to center ourselves and do this real quick.
Can I just say my invocation?
Yes, please, ma'am.
All right. I get to share my invocation with you guys. All right.
That's why I wanted to do this.
Bright and fiery arrow, blaze kindly into my life. Sainted bringer of spring, grow ever more verdant and lush. Mistress of poetry and craft, dance on my tongue and in my hands. Guardian of the wells and waters and herbs, warm my hearth and open the doors to compassion. Thank you, exalted one, for the nourishment of milk and words, for the protection of your threadbare cloak, for the peace that abides in your care. Thank you for the four fires and the thawing earth. Breach, I promise my best effort and lightest laugh in your name. Hail and welcome, exalted one.
All right, we're going to wrap this up right after this because I just noticed the computer is about to die. So, 3 cards. Ready? 1, 2, 3. This is the first time Joey and I have acted in tandem like this.
The Knight of Swords tells you to slow down. When you're going this fast, you're going to burn out your flame. Your flame cannot hold up and burn like it should. It needs to be an eternal flame, and it cannot be eternal when you are going this quickly, that fast. Evaluate what is going on in your life, what you find is fair and what you find is just, and be careful that you don't give too much to the wrong people and not enough to the right ones. Take a chance. Don't be afraid to embrace the unknown. You only live once. For God's sake, do the thing. Don't let fear stand in your way. You only have one life in this present moment.
At this present moment.
At this present moment. So take that leap. Do that thing. Don't hesitate. Jump off. Jump off.
Awesome. And you guys.
Thank you, Brigid. Thank you, Brigid.
Shoot. Uh-oh. Hold on. I lost the screen. I had the tarot card laying on the mouse pad.
Thank you guys so much for
letting us do this.
Oh, thank you.
We love you. We love you all, but I got to go eat. So Bye.